Today, I'm coding Snake in a Chrome tab, and by the end of this video, I'll have a working extension that you'll be able to play with. But getting to this point was a pretty big challenge because I have very little JavaScript experience and have never built a Chrome extension in my life. Plus a million other obstacles Chrome threw at me just so I wouldn't finish. Now, I like Retro Snake as much as the next nerd, but after 50 years, I think it needed a makeover. The very first thing we need to do is make a page in Google Chrome, so I need some HTML for that, which is a language I have not used in a hot minute. Let's just grab a basic template from here and modify it accordingly. So we have our HTML page, and I know it's blank right now, but it's actually going to stay that way for the whole video. But this Chrome tab here, now this is a real pot of gold. And I'm worried about how to easily display multiple rows of text in the Chrome tab, since we need a way to move up and down, but I guess we're just gonna have to wing it. So let's make a JavaScript file and try to change the title for now by setting the name to test tab. Okay, great. And we don't really need any fancy graphics for this version of Snake, so Unicode symbols are good enough. Now let's see if we can add another line to our title, because we need more than one row. Okay, hello, that didn't work. But before we fix this issue, I noticed the text is kind of big, so I think we need to figure out if it's even possible to manipulate the CSS at all. Alright, I briefly looked into it. Looks like that's not happening. I can obviously inject my own styling onto the web page, but it doesn't look like I have much control over the tab itself. And I have seen that you can manipulate the styling of the tabs by creating a theme, but sadly, they can't run JavaScript code. So clearly we have to come up with a new plan. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you already know what's about to go down. I find software, I identify its purpose for existing, and then I commit war crimes against it. And today's lucky victim is the Braille system. For those unfamiliar, Braille is a writing system that allows blind people to read using raised dots, which is honestly wonderful and something I see as an eye-opening win for the community. Unfortunately, I'm about to use it for Snake, because these symbols can actually be represented in Unicode, which you can't feel on a computer screen, but that's not going to stop me from abusing the shit out of them. The plan is simple. Unlike before where each character represented a position, we use each dot in the Braille symbol as an individual position in the tab. That means each Braille character contains 8 possible positions, instead of just 1. But basically, we just gotta stuff a bunch of true-false values into a grid array like a roast turkey on Thanksgiving. Now this array represents where the snake and apples are. We then feed it into a function that converts chunks of that array into Braille characters. And after a concerning amount of trial and error, I figure out how to do exactly that. So if I populate the grid with these values, I should see a straight line spanning the whole tab. Nothing is happening. Apparently JS arrays use push instead of append. Good to know. Ew! Let's fix that. Nice. A straight line. Definitely the highlight of the video so far. It's so dumb. And after all this time, we are finally ready to code the meat of this program. Just like any good video game, we need a game loop, which I'm stealing from Alexandra Hovhannisyan. I'm so sorry for butchering that, buddy. Fantastic. Absolutely nothing happened, which is generally not what you want for something called a game loop. At this point, I had 2 possibilities. Either own up to the mistake I made, or complain about it because the tutorial is clearly wrong. Naturally, my dumbass spent 25 minutes thinking it was option 2. So then I added some test code to see if the loop was running at all. And now look what you're making me do, Alexandra Hovhannisyan. I had to debug your brilliant code because I skipped your tutorial. Okay, fixed. Let me just decrease the FPS significantly though. We don't need our browser regenerating a million Braille characters 60 times a second. Alright, so now it's time for the good part. Adding user input. Just like before, I'm going to blatantly copy and paste code from my good friend. Thank you very much, Alexandra Hovhannisyan. Fuck, I'm never getting it right. And I'm going to modify the code a little bit because I already know the current implementation is going to fail for this particular game. So if I tap the A key, for example, I get the text snake. But if I hit B, I get game, which is definitely a skill I have with the lady. Up to this point, we've just been experimenting with random things, but the game isn't really a game yet. So let's fix that! When the player presses an arrow key, we want our snake to move in that direction and keep moving in that direction until either 1. The player presses a different key.
Man, that's the best answer I've heard. I love real answers, man.
2. The snake hits a boundary. Or 3. The player fucks up and 9/11s himself.
Why are your answers like that? This is not a good answer.
We're gonna save 3 for later and code up 1 and 2 for now. So I have everything I need right here. You can't see my keyboard, but I am in fact trying to press the up arrow. There's also a bunch of print statements telling me the user input is going through. My guess is a rendering issue. That was completely wrong. Turns out the problem was buried deep inside my code, which is programming terminology for I didn't update the grid properly. But here we go. I move up and off the screen. The perfect segue into boundary detection. All we really have to do here is detect if the snake's head is outside of a specified range of X and Y coordinate. If we keep going in any direction for too long, we eventually get hit with the game over text. Alright, it's time for dem apples. For this version of Snake, the apple is going to be a singular dot, and by using a random number generator, which I totally didn't rip off Stack Overflow, we can get the apple to appear in a random spot every time. So random, in fact, I don't even know where it went. The problem here is that the apple sometimes spawns way too far on the right side of the tab. The easy way to fix this is just to limit the X boundary, and that works for the most part, but if you are playing this game and happen to have a million tabs open because you're a madman, you're still going to encounter this issue, so just make sure to give your tabs some breathing room. Admittedly, I would like to give the snake and apple different colors, but yada yada yada, Chrome issues, yada yada yada, not my fault. I then spent way too much time trying to get the snake to increase in size after eating an apple. My first idea was to have the apple become the new head, but then I had this weird problem where the snake's body scrunched up for like a second and it was really ticking me off. So I ended up appending to the tail and yeah, looks pretty good. It was at this point that something dawned on me. Snake is a game from the 1970s. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a classic everyone loves, but I'm running it inside a browser tab, using Braille, through a Chrome extension, for absolutely no practical reason whatsoever. And somehow, it's still not stupid enough. So I've decided to up the difficulty by introducing some optional add-ons, and it gets even better. I'm also going to code up a secret game. That way, the Chrome extension has more depth to it. But let's finish the OG version of Snake first. I want to revisit the other thing that makes this game challenging. The snake being an absolute menace to itself. If the snake's head intersects any other part of its body, the game ends. And that's not really a problem when you're starting the game. I mean, you're literally just a disembodied head bobbing for unsuspecting apples. Which sounds less like a snake and more like the average LinkedIn recruiter, come to think of it. But anyways, the more food the snake eats, the longer it becomes and the harder it is to navigate. But here's the code for snake collisions. Let's play the game. And get another syntax error, probably like the 30th one. You know, I've already made a number of loops for this game, yet I'm still getting tripped up somehow. Okay, no syntax errors this time. And someone slapped me silly. It works. Now the game is mostly done, and there's only a few smaller things to add, like the game over screen, where you can see the score, which is literally just the length of the snake minus the head. But now for the modifications I mentioned earlier. The first one is a hard mode, which we can get to by triple clicking the equal key. Now, hard mode is no joke, just doubling the FPS value because I'm lazy and it was easy to do. Look at the little guy go nuts. He's clearly had a little too much sugar. Speaking of nuts and sugar, it's a well-known fact that snakes need food to survive. So the second change I'm adding is snake hunger. If you go a certain amount of time without eating an apple, the snake will actually start shrinking in size. Now watch how cool this is. I'm literally just a head right now, right? But if I keep dodging the food, boom, end of game, baby. And just like the first add-on, you can enter in a code to apply this game rule, which I'm going to set as HHH for hungry. I want to take these secret codes a step further though, because it's kind of annoying that the game automatically plays whenever you open the page. So I'm going to modify it so you have to enter in a combination of keystrokes to play it, which also acts as a restart. And we're going to use up, up, down, down, left, right, BA to start the game. Completely random code I came up with, by the way. True story. Okay, so right now we've been running the game from the same HTML page every single time. In terms of the game itself, what if I'm scrolling through a wiki article on toilet paper orientation, or watching one of my favorite YouTubers and have the sudden urge to play Snake in that tab? Would definitely consider subscribing to this guy, by the way. He's really cool, and I heard he owns like 10 Lambos or something. Anyways, this is where we finally turned that lame HTML file into some fancy JSON. The OG HTML file loaded our webpage and interactive JS code, but this new manifest file tells Chrome to run our snake game on the current tab, regardless of what page we're on. If I go to Chrome/extensions, toggle on developer mode, and add my project, the extension should work for me on my account. Let's go to YouTube, for example, and say I start doom scrolling. And maybe I've been searching for half an hour before realizing I need a quick break. So I enter up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, and boom, it's snake time. Then I play the game, die after the first 30 seconds, and then I resume the endless search for my next dopamine hit. Just to be clear, this works in every tab I've tried, unless it starts with Chrome or the user is on a brand new tab without URL. So I know I've been hyping up this extension as something that would be in the Chrome Web Store, but there was actually an update to the browser, and it kinda ruined the game's graphics. Instead of publishing this extension, I'm just gonna link the GitHub so you can grab the files and run it locally like I did in the video. Just keep in mind that depending on your Chrome version, the UI might be messed up. Also, I might as well show you the secret game. So it's supposed to be a knockoff of Flappy Birds. You can see here, I'm trying to get through the little openings in between the pipes, and I'm really bad at it. But yeah, anyways, that's the secret game I added. Pretty happy with how it turned out. If you want to play Tab Snake, activate hard mode, starve your snake to death, or discover whatever sleep-deprived nonsense I hid inside the extension, the link is in this video's description. Have fun, and please don't report me to the Braille community. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.